every property, I pay for signs. I mean, that's really, I mean, back to the basics.
Yes.
As far as having a sign in front of someone's yard, people will call generally to ask, hey, what is this selling for? Or I'm thinking about selling my home. So I still do the basics as well.
I love that.
Welcome to the Maryland Real Estate Influencers Podcast, where we explore the ins and outs of the local real estate market. Join us as we chat with industry experts, uncovering tips, trends, and strategies to help you navigate Maryland's real estate landscape. Get ready to elevate your real estate game. Let's dive in.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of Maryland Real Estate Influencers Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, and it is Yolanda Muckle with Maryland Realtors. She is the new president, and thank you so very much for taking time out of your very busy day, Yolanda, and allowing me to interview you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm excited, and I'm so excited to share with your audience. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we want to start out just to hook everybody in and tell them about the type of production that you've had in the last 12 months, since it's been a very crazy time in our marketplace. So if I look in the last 12 months, MMI shows me that you had 4 buy-side transactions for 1.9 million and 12 sell-side transactions for 5.2 million. And that means a total production of 16 units and $7.2 million. And I'd like, first of all, to say, wow. Thank you so very much for that production. That is phenomenal. And as well as 2023 year-to-date income is just about $4 million, which is a good amount of production. And I would like to know a little bit about you, who you work for, and what got you into the business.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for asking those questions. Well, first of all, I just celebrated year number 20 in April that I had been a realtor. Wow. Although I didn't go full time until 2007. Okay. So I left behind my career in media sales. I was working at WSA Channel 9, the CBS affiliate. Prior to that, I worked in Baltimore for the Fox affiliate. And I just decided after having our second child that I really needed to leave that business behind. I wanted to spend more time with my husband, my children, and not having our nanny, quite frankly, raise them, and I'm not there for the milestones. So that's the reason why I decided to leave the TV sales business and go into real estate full time. Although I did have a real estate license, I really was not focused on actually selling real estate. It was more or less, okay, one day when I leave my other career, then I will do real estate full time.
Yes, I have spoken to several different agents that started very similarly. Yes. So I'm very happy about that. What area do you serve for the most part? Where do you have a focus?
I used to have a focus. However, it seems now I've been all over, especially my business partner and I formed a team in 2016. Oh, okay. And so Tanavia Greer and I together work very closely with both buyers and sellers. And when I looked, I said, okay, we've been in, well, currently Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Montgomery County, Prince George's, Charles. Actually, we were in White Plains yesterday. So the business, because of referrals and the fact that we have grown so much over the years, we are not, quote, focused anywhere. In DC, we have a lot of lot listings. We have a client who reached out to us to put a number of land listings that he has in DC. So with that being said, we're Maryland, Virginia, Tanavia does Virginia, and DC. Wow, that is quite significant. Yes.
Oh, that your gas bill must be outrageous. That's a lot. That's a far travel.
I pretty much have over 200 and some thousand plus miles on my vehicle, which is what, a 2017. So yeah. Wow. Quite a bit. But we take turns. like yesterday, it was like, okay, I guess it's my turn to drive. And she'll say it's her turn to drive. So yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, your family, what would you like the listeners to know about your family in this business? I know you said after your second child that you decided to
Yes.
get back into get into real estate more with a focus after your second
Yes.
child was born.
So I am so proud of my children. My oldest, Michelle, is currently living in Ohio. She recently graduated from Kent State University with a fashion merchandising major. She has a job. She's in management training right now. So I'm super proud of her. Our middle daughter, Madison, just graduated from Annapolis Area Christian School. And she originally was going to go to New York. However, she was just recruited to bowl competitively for Coppin State University, which is an NCAA Division I school for bowling. So she'll be going off on Friday. And our son, who doesn't know of me as anything other than a realtor, he's 15. He's going into his sophomore year at Annapolis Area Christian School. So
that's
and
exciting.
My fourth child is Ziggy, who is a dog. So I tell people I have 4 kids, so he's my 4th child.
I get that. What kind of dog is Ziggy?
He's actually a rescue, and they told me he was a Tibetan Terrier mixed, and I was like, he doesn't look like a terrier. So I did the whole DNA swab, and he came back as 51% poodle, Eskimo dog, and some other super dog things.
Oh,
so,
wow. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
A lot different.
Right. And I don't put my husband in the category of my children. So my husband is also a part of this family, of course.
Sure, of course, of course. Now, does your husband have any interest of getting into our industry?
I thought that he did because he actually did take his real estate license. He was in between jobs at the time. And so I'm thinking, why don't you get your real estate license? So he went through the whole class and everything, but ultimately he ended up getting a job in a position, and somehow that went by the wayside. But he's very, very supportive because he's a a senior director of strategic communications. And he does a lot for me. Like right now, he has gotten me 2 interviews where I was in, I think it was Yahoo Finance. I got a quote in that. He has 2 other interviews that he's setting up for me, and which has been wonderful. So I take advantage of his talents.
I love that.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. When you're not working or running with your son that's still in school, what do y'all like to do for fun?
Bowling is our pastime.
Okay.
Actually, my husband and I, our first date was bowling. And the crazy thing about it was I've been a bowler since in Baltimore youth bowling. Okay. And when we talked, come to find out, he took bowling in college as an elective. So that was our first date. So we are major bowl. I mean, we love bowling. Okay. In July, we were in Indiana for almost 2 weeks with our children because they made junior gold, which is like the Olympics of bowling. Wow. And so we bowl. When I say bowl all the time, and we're actually going to be in 3 different leagues this year.
Wow.
Bowling.
Wow, so that's a lot.
The kids bowling, we're bowling, we do tournaments. I mean, we just absolutely love it. And we also golf as well. So we have bowling balls and golf clubs in the garage.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, you said you were bowling in Baltimore. So does that mean, were you bowling with the duck pin balls or with the 10-pin balls?
10 pins. I know. Baltimore, which is obviously my home town, is big time into duck pins, but no, it was the 10-pin bowling.
That's what I had to ask because I grew up in Baltimore and we duck pinned. And when I moved to the county, we 10-pinned, and it was like huge difference.
Well, definitely huge, because I mean, of course, with 10 pins, you have, you bowl twice, and then with duck pins 3 times. And I was really never into duck pin bowling. I mean, I was always into 10-pin bowling.
Okay. Well, you've done a substantial amount of production, and we may talk about that for just a little bit and focus on the last 12 months of production. Okay. And what I'd love to know is where that business came from in the last 12 months.
It's a combination of a number of things. One big thing that Tanavia and I decided to do was to start a YouTube channel. And we started it honestly during the pandemic, because on some of our videos, and our YouTube channel is the Yolanda Muckle team.
Okay.
Some of our videos you'll actually see earlier on us with masks on, because we started during the pandemic. And the way we started it was actually doing tours of homes, literally videoing, going to tour homes, and then inviting the viewers to contact us if they're looking to purchase a new home. So with that being said, we have gotten business. Actually, 2 weeks ago, Tanavia just closed up in Joppa, Maryland, with one of our clients, right on north of Baltimore, with a client of ours who had contacted us as a result of our YouTube tours. So YouTube, it's free. You do not have to pay to actually get leads. I mean, but it takes a commitment. When I say a commitment, you have to be consistent. You have to know what you're doing every single week. I mean, our viewers expect us to actually upload videos on Mondays and on Thursdays. I mean, it's really done a lot for our business. I mean, I'm so excited because we're now over 1,100 subscribers. It was like watching paint dry, quite frankly. I mean, I'm kind of really analytical. So I'm constantly looking like, okay, do we have enough? Do we have enough? Do we have enough? And so we finally hit that over 1,100 subscribers. We finally hit the over 4,000 watch time so we can be monetized. So we've gotten business. We have a client who came in from Tennessee, relocated, bought new construction home in Laurel, closed in December, saw us on our YouTube videos, contacted us. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, with the podcast, I just got into YouTube probably about a month ago for the podcast. And then for my personal business, I just got into it actually this morning. I just had the entire conversation with a marketer who is setting it up for me. I'm from the philosophy, do what you do well and everything else you hire out.
Right. Okay.
So I have been doing that because I can't add more into my day when it comes to the technical aspect of it. But
and that's understandable. But because of my media background, it's kind of like,
I'm sure
a love to me. I mean, I the whole shooting, the editing, the figuring out, okay, which videos should go where, which ones are being what. I mean, I kind of enjoy it, like
I love that,
kind of thing. So I kind of really love doing that.
Sure, I bet you do. So I think that is very, very cool that you're getting so much momentum from your channel. That's very exciting.
Right.
And thank you so very much for sharing that. I can honestly say that out of the last 25 interviews that I've done, nobody has mentioned monetizing YouTube. And I thank you for bringing that to all of our attentions. And I hope the listeners out there listening to this, that there's more than one way to quote unquote skin a cat. Let's get out there and let's bring in some business and look a brand new way that hasn't been shared with us yet. So I'm excited to hear that.
Right.
I also
I wanted to mention other, because that's not just the only thing. Referral, big time into referral business. Actually, I will be graduating from the 100 Days of Greatness, the Brian Buffini whole by referral. I mean, I was like, you know what? I know that may sound like it's focused on new realtors, but I'm constantly trying to reinvent what I'm doing. So I decided to sign up for 100 Days of Greatness with Brian Buffini.
I love that.
And really focus in on the referral business. Plus, I'm a preferred realtor for a retirement community, and I have been for 12 years probably. So when people go to purchase, well, they're not purchasing, but when they're actually going to the retirement community, I'll go in and then sell their homes for them.
Nice.
So
that's wonderful.
And I recently dropped paying for leads from a company that I had been using for a very, very long time, because I just felt like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I'm getting business from other places. I don't need to continue with this particular company anymore.
I love that. I love that you obviously know your return on investment when it comes to the the leads and what they were bringing for you, and that you found other more valuable ways of bringing in business. And I
Yes.
love that. And Brian Buffini, the 100 Days of Greatness is a fabulous way to start. And I don't think honestly, it's for new people the way that I have viewed it. I think it's for people that are just ready to make a certain type of change in their business. And I
Yes.
think he's got a lot of great ideas. I've had two of actually his top producing realtors on here, sharing what they do and how successful that they have grown their business from doing that. And kind of want to kick myself in the tush for not getting started with that so earlier in my business. So
Right.
I'm very glad to hear that you're doing that, and congratulations for that. It's a big,
Yeah.
big change.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other way that you're bringing in business on a consistent basis?
Actually, it's just all of those things. I mean,
Okay.
I still like when properties go out, I still do just listed. I still do just sold for my listings. As a result of that, I'll have people contact me about, okay, so what is my house worth? So I still do that. I mean, with every property, I pay for signs. I mean, that's really, I mean, back to the basics. As
Yes.
far as having a sign in front of someone's yard, people will call generally to ask, hey, what is this selling for? Or I'm thinking about selling my home. So I still do the basics as well.
I love that. Now, may I ask, what is the mindset that you use every day? I know there's a lot of negativity in our industry. We hear about that the market is down, and that people, I've heard the whole reason for the podcast is I'm seeing people get out of the business, and it's kind of breaking my heart. And what do you do to keep yourself positive in this state of this economy that we have right now?
Okay. So I look at my reality, the fact that I was in a very successful business in media sales. I mean, I sold Survivor, CSI, you name it, the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a very good career. And I decided, you know what? Quality of life means a lot to me. And I'm going to leave that career behind and go into real estate when the market, quite frankly, tanked. I got my real estate license in 2003. I did not leave officially WSA Channel 9 until December of 2006. I went full-time real estate in January of 2007. Nobody was getting in, they were getting out during that time.
Yes.
So my reality is the market does not dictate my success. I do. So I have to get up every morning and treat this as it's my career. I can't be woe is me. You know, interest rates are now 7.5 or whatever, so I can't sell anything. I have to look at, okay, what can I do today to move the needle forward? I mean, I'm constantly reading. One of the books actually I have right here is Miracle Morning for real estate agents that I'm reading. I've read over and over again the 12-week year to figure out how I can do more in 12 weeks than in 12 months. So I'm constantly looking at the positive, I mean, and not focusing on negative. I surround myself with people who are positive. If you're negative, I don't have time for you. I mean, I'm sorry, because while you're having a pity party, you can have that by yourself and not around me.
Yes. I love that. That is, thank you so very much for sharing that. Do you have like a daily success plan? I know you're in the midst of the Brian Buffini right now. So I know that a lot of people, after they've gone through his course, they create their own daily success plan on the things that they do every day. From the time you get up until the time you stop your work day.
Right.
Are you open to sharing what your daily success plan looks like?
It's going to change now that my son goes back to school tomorrow. So I have to now condense my plan. So obviously I have to get him to school by 8 o'clock. He has to be picked up by 3. So I have to condense everything that I'm doing, because initially Tanavia and I would like literally go to the office, not look at Zoom or talk on the phone, but physically go to the office at 9 o'clock. We had written down what's happening on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as well as Friday. Of course, have a day off where it's one day is YouTube day. We're going out and we're doing videos. Then I'm going to edit the videos. The next day is we're going to follow up on the leads that have come through on YouTube. I mean, so yeah, so it changes. But one thing is just getting up in the morning, getting dressed, and getting out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Definitely. That is a big deal. That's for sure. And I've heard that, several people speaking with them is that, things will change, like you said, when the kids go back to school and that time crunch happens and we only have X amount of times to get things done in that work day, if you will.
Right. Right. But I would say one big thing with the Miracle Morning, it says, don't hit the snooze button. Mm-mm. Get up, get out, get started. I mean, it's nothing for me to have a meeting, because I do a lot of volunteer work too, where I have a meeting at 7:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, well, you can't be out the door if you're not up and dressed early.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very interested by the Miracle Morning. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's supposed to start at 5 a.m. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm only at 6. But that's my goal, is to get to 5. And so I'm really excited about pushing myself to get into the 5 o'clock range, because I know everything's supposed to change then. Yes. So I'm excited about it, but it's still taking me a smidge to get there.
Okay.
So I hope that you get there too, as you enjoy that.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, what changes are you seeing and trends that you're seeing in the market, in today's market? I do have Maryland Realtors July bulletin, so I can see that. I know that specifically that in July we're down 22.6% year over year.
Yes.
I see, but our average sales price is up 3.2%. So I see all the data from that. And if any of the listeners are interested and they do not have this data, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to send it to you.
Yes.
But what are the trends that you're seeing out there in your workday?
So what I see is, although the number of homes that are being put on the market is down and interest rates are higher rather, that people are still purchasing. The values are still increasing. So, but we still are, we have that missing middle inventory. And when we talk about missing middle, it's the duplexes, the triplexes, the different types of housing that will fit into the single family homes, detached homes. So that's one reason why with Maryland Realtors, one of our major, legislative initiatives for advocacy is letting people, the legislators know that we really need to step up and allow, for example, accessory dwelling units, and a uniform around the entire state. I mean, where it's not in Carroll County, you can do one thing, and Howard, you can do this, and St. Mary's, you can do that. I mean, I've sold an accessory dwelling unit in Middle River in Baltimore County, where my client actually put up behind her waterfront property a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a 4-car garage accessory dwelling unit about 15 years ago, and it recently sold. And she actually had, at one point, her niece and nephew, they were living there. I mean, she's had relatives. It helped with her mom, who, lived in one of the units, and that kind of thing. So that's, what we really do need as far as more inventory on the market.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. And thank you for all that you're doing with the legislative to get these changes made in our industry, that I think is so very important. Are there, outside of YouTube, is there any new technology that you're utilizing, maybe not new technology, but new technology to you, that you're utilizing that you're finding very valuable in your day?
I recently found very valuable the whole AI when it came to a photo. So there was a photo that had a car, a sign, and a whole lot of other things going on in front of it. And so the photographer was like, I can't really do anything. So by using the AI technology, we were able to take out the car, the sign, and be able to use the photo. So, I mean, it was so cool too. It was like, oh, okay, literally AI. We were literally removing things out of the photos. And actually with the AI, artificial intelligence, helping to write copy for your listings, that's something else, you know. So I know there's been some people concerned about like taking over, and people won't be able to do anything because AI will do everything, but those things have been helpful.
Definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't.
Right.
I know that I'm utilizing it not on photos. That was a new one for me. So thank you for sharing that. But I did know that the new iPhones that are coming out do have that capability. I just heard that.
Oh, wow. You have to
14 or
upgrade
15,
then.
wherever they're at. That's
Right.
the new thing that's
Right.
going to be available on them, but I didn't know it was available to the public yet. So that's really cool.
And another thing, well, this isn't new technology, but we have a virtual assistant that we utilize. She's in the Philippines. I mean, she's literally 24 hours ahead of us because it's two something now. So it's 2 a.m. there. But yes, she's been very helpful. I mean, she actually helps with our YouTube channel where she actually creates the shorts for us, like there's
Very
the short
cool.
videos. She does all of those. A lot about social media posting and that sort of thing. She does that. So we do utilize a virtual assistant.
That's cool. I was just on a webinar earlier this morning that talked about YouTube Shorts and Reels and what the analytics are doing and the algorithm is doing in order to push those to the top of everybody's screens, and how that is making some major changes in the way that people market. I just had a great webinar on that earlier today.
Wow.
So I wish you the
Wow.
most success, you and your virtual assistant, with that.
Thank you. And I wanted to also mention too, I believe in going to conferences. And speaking of which, Maryland Realtors, we have our conference coming up September the 19th to the 21st. So, I mean, I invite your listeners to actually register to come to Maryland Realtors Conference. I mean, we have speakers, motivational speakers, classes, continuing education. And I feel as though you cannot be a successful realtor if you're not going to conferences, learning, interacting, meeting, networking with other realtors and other people. So,
and where is the class going to be? Where is the conference going to be this year? And how can people register?
Okay, so they can register, actually go to the Maryland Realtors website. It's going to be at Live Casino and Hotel in Arundel Mills.
Okay.
Okay.
That is perfect. That's in my neck of the woods. I love that.
Good.
That's good. And so thank you so much for letting us know that. I wanted to ask about the goals that you have for yourself as well as your team for the last 4 months of 2023, and or what you're looking at for 2024.
Okay. So one thing is, thank you for mentioning 2023, because I know some people feel like, oh, it's over and it's done. And we never feel that way.
Never.
We're like, it's August. People still buy houses September through December. So one of the things that we've talked about, I mean, we recently found out that we are the top team. We have been the top team for the last couple of years in the Southern Maryland region of Long and Foster. So I've been with Long and Foster for 20 years. The Southern Maryland region, of course, is, Prince George's, Calvert, Charles, St. Mary's, and so forth. So it's to continue being that and to improve upon what we've done. I know it's a challenge as far as the market, but we got the numbers that we're still leading. I mean, we together have sold over 20 houses so far this year. And it's to be able to continue helping as many families as we can to purchase a home. So that's really what we're looking at doing.
I love that. Thank you so very much for that. Is there anything that I should have asked you on this podcast that I haven't at this point?
Well, I just wanted to also mention too that I invite realtors to actually go on to not just the Maryland Realtors website, but also go to the National Association of Realtors, because with everything going on around the world and in Maui, I mean, there's the Realtor Relief, Fund and Foundation, and to just give and help other realtors who are not as fortunate right now. I mean, in Maui, the realtors who are there, who I know and have met, I mean, there's nothing to sell at the moment in a lot of areas because of the fires and that sort of thing. So I would just encourage, please just go and support the Realtor Relief Fund.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know that.
You're welcome.
And could we go on to Maryland Realtors website in order to find that fund?
Well, I would say it's on the National Association of Realtors
on the national
website. I don't want to tell them it's exactly there on Maryland Realtor site,
right,
but it's definitely on the National Association of Realtors website.
I gotcha.
And
Thank
we're
you so
actually
very much.
looking, having someone come and speak on it at the conference.
Oh, that would be lovely. That would definitely be good. Thank you so very much for making some time for me today and allowing me to interview you and bringing on here information on the Maryland Realtors and how the agents that are with them actually that are in this industry, and some of them aren't plugging in. I appreciate you sharing information on way that they can plug in and make a difference. And again, to those realtors out there that were considering getting out of the business, please reach out to Yolanda. Please reach out to myself. Please reach out to any of us that have been on this podcast, because we're all here to help you. And I just would like not to see any more people leave our industry. It's a wonderful industry that has done wonders for all of our families for years. And thank you so very much. If you're listening or whichever podcast platform that you're listening to this, please take a moment and place an honest review about listening to Yolanda and myself today, and let us know if there's other things that you're interested in hearing. We would love to help you on your journey. And I thank you so very much, Yolanda, for your time today. And I'm extremely grateful that you made time to join us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I hope all of you out there have a great day. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining the Maryland Real Estate Influencers podcast. We'd like to ask you 2 favors. Number 1, forward this podcast to 3 of your favorite realtor friends. They'll thank you for it, and I'll thank you for it too. Number 2, we'd love reviews. It helps get the word out.